let's talk with District 8, Representative Mike Berg of Bismarck, one of the new members of the legislature, North Dakota Petroleum Council, Lignite Energy Council, helping us meet the new legislators, new faces walking the halls of the state capitol. And Mike, it's good to meet you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me here, Scott. Happy to be here.
Talk a little bit about you and your story, and let us get to know you a little better.
Serving District 8, which is rural Burley County and Emmons County. I'm a civil engineer. I work primarily in water, but we do a lot of work with roads as well. I have 2 kids and my wife, Wendy, and we live north of Bismarck in Burley County.
How does a civil engineer become a legislator? Talk a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, well, you have to take off your engineer brain and not put too much thought into it sometimes. Just roll. So, yeah, no, it's all good.
Did you ever, obviously it's a sacrifice and things are different when you're in public service, but what prompted you to run?
I just wanted to get involved. And so the first time I ran was about 3 years ago. We had redistricting in our district and reached out to some of the people that were involved just to see what I could do to help them. And ultimately, they ended up asking if I would run.
And here you are.
Here I am. So.
What do you bring in the way of priorities? What are you rolling up your sleeves saying, here's where I want to make a difference at?
So my number one priority being a new legislator is just making sure trying to understand the priorities of District 8, what's important, getting to know the people, being accessible, and just having a good understanding of what they're where they're at and what they want out of the legislature.
What kind of what would you assemble in the way of a list from those priorities so far? Obviously that takes some time. You're listening, you're hearing from them, different things are proposed, so you're getting feedback here. But what's your sense of what they do want?
Well, one we hear about property taxes is important, rural roads and bridges, rural health care, emergency services. Those are all important. I think people also want to feel connected to the people that are making their laws. They want to be heard. They want their viewpoints to be considered and be understood.
You mentioned Emmons County is part of your district as well. Obviously, there's a county that has, some industry that is important to, in all these districts. You got agriculture and industry as well. But talk a little bit about Emmons County specifically and how you see yourself being in the middle of some of the conversations about the different energy development and things they're doing down there.
Yeah, certainly a hot topic in Emmons County and rural Burley County. A lot of people impacted with different energy projects, a lot of different viewpoints, and it's been a lot of good conversations, both during the campaign and now in the legislature.
And what do you see this particular legislative session doing to, sort of continue that conversation? What role do you, from the folks that you're hearing from, do you anticipate they're going to play here? Just kind of walk us through what you think this session specifically will be dealing with in those areas.
Yeah, well, as a new legislator, I probably need to ask an expert. Maybe you'd be able to tell me what you expect. But so I've been in the Appropriations Committee, and we're dealing primarily with finances and budgets. So I haven't been directly involved with a lot of the infrastructure and energy project discussions. I know those are going off in other committees, and as those bills and ideas come forward, I'll be getting more engaged with them.
Yeah, and certainly there is an intersection between those two. As an appropriator, you're obviously looking at a pot of money that's available and a pot of money of requests. So to the extent that those energy projects continue to fund the coffers of county commissions in Burley County and Emmons County and in general the jobs in the state, they sort of do intersect, don't they?
I'm sure they do. And, there's big cost impacts for the people of Emmons and Burley County. At the end of the day, people want taxes to be simple, fair, and low. When we get state resources, we need to make sure that they're spent efficiently and that we apply them as best we can and make sure we don't forget about rural North Dakota.
Talk a little bit about being a civil engineer and having a day job and juggling everything that's required of a legislator every other year, especially with the 80 days of session, but obviously things going on with interim committees and other things as well. How do you juggle that?
Well, we've got a great team, a lot of experienced people that I work with on all these different projects. So every project I was managing, a different engineer has taken the lead on those, and then we have different senior engineers that are taking my roles as far as mentoring and quality control. And I thought that'd be a hard process to work through this transition. Turned out it was went pretty smooth. Everything is going fine without me, and hopefully turns out I'm not indispensable. hopefully they still need me when we get through the legislature. So,
but I guess it gives people a perspective when you think about there's obviously additional burdens on your coworkers. They're taking on projects. You're doing it as a public servant to be able to give back to the state. And so there's obviously sacrifices on your part as well. But that's what we need to make government go in North Dakota, right?
Yeah, as a state, we've decided we're going to have a citizen legislature. And so people are doing it part-time. We're all amateurs, right? Doing the best we can. The alternative, and you see this in a lot of states where you have professional people that do it all year long. And we've taken a different approach, and but it takes some sacrifices for sure.
Would you encourage other people to do this?
Yeah, I think if people are inclined, I would really encourage them to get involved and see where it takes you.
Yeah, spend a day at the legislature, see if this is for you, and a great way to give back, really without question. And obviously, it doesn't come without sacrifice. But especially with our current term limit laws, you're going to need a whole lot of new talent to be able to replace some of the people that'll be leaving here. So it is important, and I think it's good, especially for someone that's a freshman legislator, to be able to have that perspective for others. Anything else you want to share with us about this session, or any other thoughts?
Yeah, just appreciate all the work that the senior members of the House and Senate are doing. Have a new appreciation for that, and also appreciate everyone that's been reaching out and getting engaged with the process. This is the time for regular people to get involved, and appreciate that.
Yeah, your constituents in Emmons and Burley County have an easy way to email you, to call you, to there's really the North Dakota Legislature website's really good on being able to access all your members. So you want to hear from people, don't you?
Yep, absolutely.
Good to talk to you.
Likewise, thanks for having me on.